Let's talk about FM26. Of course, we've missed FM25. It's gone from 24 to 26. You can pre order the game now. It's coming out, I think, in about a month's time, something like that. I want to talk about it because it's a really interesting story. And this is coming from someone who's played FM every now and again. Every couple of years, I kind of get addicted for a month or two, and then I don't come back for a little while. So I'm not an insanely addicted FM player, but I do really like the game. And this year I am intrigued because they're coming with something new. There's a new match engine. There's a new engine. There's hopefully a new UI. We haven't seen anything yet, but they have released some gameplay. So we're going to go ahead and watch a little bit of, I think they called this, what did they call this? Hang on. It was the match day first look. They released this on Twitter. Let me just mute it in case there's copyright. But this is what we saw a couple of weeks ago. After being completely radio silent for ages, it was a huge disappointment when FM25 didn't come out, and we'll get into that in a minute. But I saw this a couple of weeks ago and thought, oh my God, this actually looks good. This is in-game. Actual game footage, not final, obviously. And is it going to say the release date here? Just says coming soon. Okay, let me switch over to their YouTube channel. So this is the first look reveal. And again, we haven't seen any proper gameplay. And there was no FM25. So it's 2 years. It's 2 years. And this is what they've come out with. It looks really good, doesn't it? If you haven't seen FM24 or any of the Football Manager games in the last decade, then you might look at this and think, well, it's not very good. It looks rubbish. But let me tell you this, okay? The upgrade from what it looked like before to now is pretty insane. Just the atmosphere, the lighting, the players' movement. There's huge upgrades in multiple areas here. But of course, if you take off those rose-tinted glasses and you ignore the fact that the game has been, let's just call it ugly. It's been ugly for a while. Quite a long time. This is obviously a massive, massive update. It really is. Look at the pitch here. I mean, this is unheard of. It's something you don't see in FM. And by the way, there are plenty of players, including myself, that quite enjoys Football Manager when you have just the player dots, you know, like a 2D pitch. Because for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people would agree, FM is absolutely not about the match day experience. It's about the tactics, it's managing the squad, it's all the day-to-day tasks, realistically, and it's not really about the game and how it pans out visually. This is just an added bonus. This really isn't going to completely change the game forever in terms of maybe how you play. It's just a nice cosmetic thing, isn't it? Let's have a look if they've got... Okay, so it still just says wish list now. Is there not a release date yet? Maybe not. So I just want to reiterate, though, that a lot of people watching this might just think, well, it's really not that good looking when you compare it to FC or what FIFA or Pro Evolution Soccer look like, or even some of the other football games that have come out, because it's not a good looking game, but this is still a massive upgrade. So why wasn't there an FM25? Well, let me go ahead and put this on loop so I can have it on in the background. I haven't done that in ages. How do you put it on loop? Playback speed? No. Isn't there a loop thing? You just loop, there we go. Loop the video. And I'll just put it in maximum screen for you guys. So FM25 was meant to come out, but they scrapped it. The reason for that is because FM25 was meant to be this. It was meant to be the new game, the new gen version of FM with a new match engine. And I think multiple people have said that the team themselves were not happy with FM25. And that is a very rare thing to hear, okay? A developer not being happy with the product. Because normally, I'm sure it's very normal that a developer will not like how the game is looking right before release. But what they'll do is they'll release it anyway and just patch it later. It's a thing, isn't it? Release something broken, it doesn't matter, we'll fix it. They decided to take a very brave stance on this, and I'm sure their publisher Is it Konami? Oh, who is their publisher? Sega. If they were hearing of this and you know they would have obviously been very disappointed because of the amount of money that they're going to lose out. They would have been pushing for the release regardless of the state the game was in, but they have said no. We're not happy with the final product and we will delay the game. We will delay it. We will delay it until we're happy. And obviously, it didn't quite make it. It wasn't good enough. So they've had to wait until FM26 came around and they can release a brand new game. So I just want to go ahead and say that that is absolutely incredible. And I want more gaming studios to feel comfortable in delaying or postponing products when they're not ready. I think FM25 would have come out and it would have done more harm than good. It would have done them serious damage if it really wasn't in a good state because it was hyped. Even I was thinking FM25 is the year where I'm going to finally make some consistent and regular content on the game because FM is on paper the exact game that I love because I love the managerial experience. But what was always lacking for me was, well, this. And I think that's because, you know, I mentioned it earlier that I would always be happy to play it on like a 2D view and just have the dots. Well, that's because the game was ugly. It's needed a revamp like this. And I think this changes quite a lot in terms of making content because there is more to see now. It does look a lot more like football. So have they done the right thing? Yes, I think they have. Does this look better? Yes, absolutely. But is it great? Is it really, really good? Is it worthy of moving or postponing an entire year, a whole year? I've got to say, I think I expected a little bit more when they released the last bit of content that I showed you. I think the close-ups and the kind of cinematics they revealed looked a lot better than this. Because if you look closely, okay, if you look at the way the players move, their reactions and things like that, one of the drawbacks, I think, of FM for so long now is it looks like players are just on sticks. They're just sliding along. That's still the case. I think the players don't look weighty enough. They don't look like they're planted on the ground. It looks like they're just drifting. You can put a new lick of paint on it. You can make it look more shiny, more colorful, a higher contrast, better shadowing, whatever. And they've used Unity to do this. It looks better, but it isn't better, you know? Just look at the way the players dribble. Look at the way the ball floats. It is, in some areas, much, much better. But that slide tackle there, the way the goalkeepers move, it still isn't quite scratching that itch. And the perfect world for me would be you have FC gameplay, but you have the FM menus. And I'm really intrigued to see what they're going to do with the menus because that has been my biggest gripe of FM for years and years and years now. It is kind of like playing a spreadsheet. And that's fine if you're into it. But for people like me, I just, after a while, lose interest. It needs to be a little bit more intuitive, I think. But also, it could just be that I'm not the target. Well, I am the target audience, but I just don't have that preference. I do prefer a slightly simplified menu. And when you've got so many things to click, so many data boxes and images and lines of text, it's impossible to create a really simple menu, I think. So in the past, I've tried FM on console, I've tried it on mobile, and of course on PC. The best experience 100% is on PC. It's much easier to navigate with a mouse and things like that. But what I will say is over the years, when I did play on console, that more dumbed down, simplified version was still really fun to play. It just wasn't a proper FM experience. But for some people, that's enough. So now I'm thinking you've got the FM menus that hopefully will look a lot better. You could have a much better match day experience and therefore a better console experience in general for people that are coming from career mode who want a slightly more simplified version of the game. There's nothing wrong with that. I know proper FM players look down on people like that. Oh, you're not even playing the game properly, but that's okay. I think that this suits that way more. However, if you're a long-term FM player, FM geek, whatever you want to call it, this isn't going to do much for you. It's just a nice added bonus that maybe the game looks a little bit nicer. It's a little bit nicer on the eye. But until they release, I think, some more screenshots and some footage of the menu and any changes that are coming with that, I think that's going to be the really exciting part for me. I'm interested in load speeds, how it processes the data, because of course it's a huge amount of data going on, and whether there's new features and things like that. But of course they've got the Premier League license, they've got the Champions League license, which is huge as well. So I think my takeaway from this reveal is that I think FM is going to be a lot better for content creators this year because it is just a bit nicer on the eye. This is great. I can actually create kind of highlight videos or, highlights within videos of the gameplay instead of just kind of skipping through matches and showing little bits here and there, because it's becoming more and more, at least this is a little bit more like FC gameplay, and I'm trying my best not to kind of compare them, but these are the two dominant football games. I'm excited. I really am. It's a huge upgrade visually. Obviously, it's not going to impact the way the game plays physically. The players are still going to make mistakes. There's still going to be own goals. It just looks nicer, right? I'm definitely keen to do some content, so I'd love for you guys to leave a comment down below. If I was to do an FM series, what would it be? Would it be starting from nothing, unemployed? Would it be starting with Arsenal? I doubt that you guys would want that, but maybe a Premier League team. Or would you like me to go League 2 and work my way up like a road to glory? I'd be very interested in streaming this as well, so make sure you are subscribed for that. I don't have an idea of the release date. I think it's normally October, November, so in a month or two, we should get the game. But fair play to the FM team for delaying FM 25, and hopefully FM 26 is going to go down really well with this new lick of paint, and hopefully the match engine upgrade has been worth the headache of not releasing a game for a whole year. It's going to be good to play again. Thank you for watching, guys. Those are my thoughts on FM 26. A lot of people have been asking me. There's my thoughts.